Tragic details about Dave Navarro. Dave Navarro was born on June 7, 1967, in Santa Monica, California, is a musician, songwriter, and guitarist renowned for his work in various influential rock bands. Raised in a creative and musically inclined family, Navarro showed an early interest in music, particularly the guitar, which would go on to become his defining instrument. His musical journey began in his early teens, when he was inspired by the sounds of punk rock, metal, and alternative music. These genres greatly shaped his style, and his passion for guitar playing grew as he honed his skills throughout his teenage years. Growing up in Los Angeles, Navarro was exposed to a vibrant music scene. His early influences included iconic bands like Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and The Clash, which helped cultivate his unique blend of hard rock, grunge, and alternative styles. However, his life took a dramatic turn when he faced the tragic loss of his mother. Navarro was only 15 when his mother, Constance, was tragically murdered by her ex-boyfriend in a senseless act of violence. This event had a profound impact on Navarro, and the grief he experienced would later influence much of his music, contributing to his raw emotional expression on stage. Dave Navarro's career truly began to take shape in the late 1980s when he joined the legendary rock band Jane's Addiction. Formed by frontman Perry Farrell, bassist Eric Avery, and drummer Stephen Perkins, Jane's Addiction blended elements of alternative rock, punk, and psychedelic rock, a sound that would go on to define an entire genre. Navarro joined the band in 1986, quickly establishing himself as one of the most innovative and electrifying guitarists in rock. His unique guitar style, which combined soaring solos with intricate, atmospheric textures, became one of the band's defining features. He was an integral part of Jane's Addiction's success, contributing to their breakthrough albums like Nothing's Shocking, 1988, and Ritual de lo Habitual, 1990, both of which received critical acclaim and commercial success. The success of Jane's Addiction, particularly their album Ritual de lo Habitual, cemented Navarro's place in rock history. However, despite the band's rise to fame, Navarro's time with Jane's Addiction was marked by internal tensions and struggles with addiction. In 1991, Navarro left the band, seeking a fresh start and to recover from his personal challenges. His departure from Jane's Addiction marked the beginning of his next chapter as an artist. In the early 90s, Navarro joined the Red Hot Chili Peppers, replacing guitarist John Frusciante for their album One Hot Minute, 1995. His brief stint with the band was marked by a distinctive departure from the Chili Peppers' usual sound, with Navarro's darker, more brooding guitar work adding a new layer of intensity to the band's music. Although his time with the Peppers was short-lived, his contributions to One Hot Minute left a lasting impact on their sound and showed Navarro's versatility as a guitarist. After his departure from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Navarro embarked on a solo career, releasing his debut album Trust No One in 2001. This album was a personal and artistic expression of his journey, exploring themes of pain, loss, and introspection. The album showcased Navarro's incredible guitar skills and his ability to fuse rock, alternative, and industrial sounds into a cohesive and engaging narrative. Trust No One was met with positive reviews, further establishing Navarro as a solo artist with his own distinct voice. In addition to his solo work, Navarro has collaborated with a variety of musicians and bands, showing his versatility across genres. His collaborations include work with Marilyn Manson, 9 Inch Nails, and the supergroup Camp Freddy. He also co-founded the band Deconstruction and participated in various other side projects, continually pushing his artistic boundaries. In addition to his musical career, Dave Navarro gained fame in the entertainment industry as a television personality. He was a host and judge on the popular reality show Rockstar INXS, which sought to find a new lead singer for the band INXS. His role as a judge showcased his sharp musical ear and charismatic presence, earning him a new audience outside of the rock world. Navarro also hosted his own show, Ink Master, a tattoo competition series that ran for several seasons and further solidified his place in mainstream media. Navarro's love for tattoos has been a prominent part of his identity, both personally and professionally. As a tattoo enthusiast, he has numerous tattoos covering his body, many of which hold deep personal significance. His involvement in Ink Master allowed him to connect with other tattoo lovers and artists, expanding his influence beyond the realm of music. Dave Navarro, renowned guitarist and member of the bands Jane's Addiction and Red Hot Chili Peppers, has faced a series of deeply traumatic events in his life, some of which have shaped both his music career and personal journey. One of the most horrific chapters of Navarro's life began in March of 1983 when his mother, Constance, and his aunt, also named Constance, were brutally murdered by his mother's ex-boyfriend, John Dean Riccardi. Navarro was just 15 years old at the time, and the shock and pain of losing two important figures in his life in such a violent manner left an indelible mark on him. Riccardi, who had a history of violent behavior, had been a significant part of Navarro's life during his mother's troubled relationship with him. On the night of the murders, Navarro was supposed to stay with his mother. However, he had a last-minute change of plans and went to stay with his father instead, which unknowingly spared his life. The murders were incredibly brutal and left Navarro devastated, not only by the loss of his loved ones but by the lingering questions and trauma surrounding the violent act. The police were unable to arrest Riccardi immediately, as he managed to evade capture for nearly a decade. In 1991, after the case had gone cold, the killer was finally apprehended when a tip from a viewer led to his arrest, prompted by his appearance on the widely popular television show America's Most Wanted. The case remained in the public eye for years, and in 2004, Navarro made a public statement on America's Most Wanted about his experiences surrounding his mother's murder. During this emotional appearance, Navarro shared that although he was supposed to visit his mother on the night she was killed, he had made the decision to stay with his father instead. In a cruel twist of fate, this change likely saved his life, but the guilt and sorrow of surviving while his mother and aunt were murdered weighed heavily on him. As Navarro continued to grapple with the aftermath of his traumatic childhood, he turned to music as a form of expression and catharsis. However, his pain would continue to manifest in other ways, particularly in his struggles with addiction. Navarro became notorious for his battles with drugs and alcohol, which he later acknowledged were exacerbated by the unresolved trauma of his mother's death. This period of addiction was marked by a downward spiral, where Navarro used substances to cope with the emotional scars of his early life. In 2015, Navarro took an important step toward healing by releasing a deeply personal documentary titled Morning Sun. The documentary gave Navarro a platform to openly address his childhood trauma, his mother's murder, and the painful effects it had on his mental and emotional well-being. In the film, Navarro revealed the extent of the abuse he suffered at the hands of his mother's ex-boyfriend, Riccardi, who not only took the lives of his loved ones but had subjected Navarro to years of torment before the murders. The film chronicles his struggles with addiction and the ways in which his grief had spiraled out of control. Through Morning Sun, Navarro explored the depths of his pain, offering insight into the path he followed to overcome it and begin healing. One of the most harrowing moments in the documentary is when Navarro meets his mother's killer in prison. The meeting was a deeply emotional and cathartic experience, allowing Navarro to confront the man responsible for the destruction of his family and, in some ways, his own life. This encounter provided a sense of closure for Navarro, though it was not without its emotional challenges. It allowed him to face the anger, hurt, and confusion he had carried for decades. The emotional journey of the film resonated with many fans, as it provided an honest and raw portrayal of how Navarro's personal tragedies had shaped his life. Navarro's personal life has also been marked by a series of tumultuous relationships. He has been married 3 times, each of which brought both public attention and personal heartache. His first marriage was to celebrity makeup artist Tanya Goddard-Saylor in 1990. The marriage lasted only 2 years before they divorced in 1992. Navarro's second marriage was to Rian Gittins in 1994, but this union was short-lived and was annulled shortly thereafter. In 2003, Navarro married model and actress Carmen Electra, a relationship that garnered much media attention due to their high-profile status as a couple. Unfortunately, their marriage, which lasted until 2007, ended in divorce. These relationships, though part of his public persona, were often overshadowed by his struggles with personal loss and addiction. Through it all, Navarro has continued to play a central role in the music industry, using his art to express the complexities of his experiences. His personal journey of overcoming addiction, healing from the trauma of his mother's death, and dealing with the loss of relationships has undoubtedly influenced his musical output. However, his life remains a testament to the strength of resilience, as he has sought to rise above his past and find peace amid the pain. In many ways, Dave Navarro's story is one of survival, artistic expression, and the ongoing battle with grief and addiction. His struggles are a reminder of how deeply personal tragedies can shape an individual's path, and how, despite immense pain, healing is possible.